What's up? Big day today. Big things happening. Greetings and salutations. I will be your host for the day. My name is Drew Stone. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, and Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards. What's happening, everyone, around the world? Good evening, Philip. What's up, Mick? What's happening up in Canada? Federico, what's up, brother? Steen, how's Denmark? How's things in Denmark, bro? Roberto, what's happening? Como está, Ole? What's happening? Adam Sachs, what do you say? Good to see everybody. What an exciting day today. Not only do we have a great show with a great guest, but afterwards is the big Bowery Electric live streaming event with Stigma and Antidote, NYHC, and The Craze. So what do we got here? David Rogers, Northern BC, Canada repping. Is it snowing there yet, bro? What's up, Larry the Hunter? Are you ready for our big show? I will see you down at the Bowery Electric. Here, let me show you guys a picture. This is from the sound check. This is from earlier down at the Bowery Electric at the big sound check. There you go. Members of Antidote, NYHC, The Craze, and of course, Vinny Stigma up front. So, hey, Ann, how you doing? Your boy's on the show today. You're psyched. Big Rob, what's up? There you go. So, yeah, man. Hey, what's up, Joe Truck? Thanks for coming by. I haven't seen you in a minute. Olaf from a Walmart in Phoenix. All right. Listen, kind of cool. But here we go. We had the big sound check, and everybody's ready to go. I'll be hustling down there soon. Hey, May, how's London? Fun town. There you go. Hey, Ryan, how are you, buddy? Checking in from Houston. What, do you got family in Houston, Ryan? Is that what's going on? Giovanni in Colombia. Is that Colombia, South America? Or is that Columbia, South Carolina? You know? Wow, Sal Marino stopping by. Wow, must be slow over there, huh, Sal? Thanks, Sal. Good to see you. Oh, yeah, Peter Green. That's right. Listen, do you notice on the far right of that picture is the actor standing next to Larry the Hunter in the white T-shirt is the actor Peter Green from Pulp Fiction and Usual Suspects and The Mask. Zed is dead. How about that? Colombia, South America. All right. Good. Will the tech check at the show be moshing on the dance? Listen, a little bit. Yeah, Peter Green is Peter Green. Peter Green is Peter Green. To know him, money earning Mount Vernon. What's up, Ryan? There you go. Hey, let's get it moving and grooving here. What's up, Steven? What's happening, man? How are you?
Very exciting day. Very exciting day. I've been listening to The Craze all morning, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah, I've been to sing along for the Apocalypse record.
The Craze are awesome.
I'm telling you, man. This is a crazy bill tonight. This really is.
Right.
Crazy with a K.
How about Peter Green at the gig, huh?
Yeah,
crazy,
I mean,
right?
you know, it's funny. Is he a hardcore guy?
Yeah, well, you could say that. Hey, your friend JoJo's here.
JoJo, what's up?
All right, let's do photo of the day, huh?
Let's do photo of the day.
Where is photo of the day? Here is photo of the day. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Brought to you by the Hardcore Shutterbug, Stephen Messina. If you know what this is, please post. Here we go. Photo of the day. Boom.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. And I mean, this is kind of easy. I know what this is. Even I, a novice like me. Yeah. This is. Here we go. Let's let it get stacked up a little bit,
Yep.
and I will say this about this guy. I think this guy's like 70 years old now, right?
Yeah. Think
All right,
so,
here we
right?
go.
I mean,
All right, here we go. Motherfucking Fear. Lee V. Fear. Fear. Mr. Ving. There you go. Bill Murray. Good one. Good one.
it is Bill
Lee.
Murray.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
hey,
that's
can
funny.
I throw a clue in there?
Sure.
We're going to be doing a Fear song today in our set. So
Ooh.
there you go.
See that everything works. Everything intertwines.
Yeah, that's a good one. Get his ass on the show. I should.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one. You know what? So Harvey Keitel, good one, Whitney. Harvey Keitel, very good.
He's been doing a lot of cool quarantine stuff with a lot of different artists too.
Yep. All right, tell us about this photo. As you tell us about this photo, I'm going to look up how old this dude is. Go ahead.
Well, this is Fear, as a matter of fact, at CBGB's, and this is 1993. And the thing I remember most about this show is that it happened the same night that Rage Against the Machine played at Wetlands. And my original intent was to do both. And I could not get into the Wetlands show. I got there too late. And I ended up just going to see Fear that night, which was awesome because I'd seen them there before and they're always great. And this is 1993. So this is 28 years ago. And they were great. I mean, I'm a huge fan. So I don't remember. I honestly don't remember who they played with, which is rare because usually I'm all over the other bands as well. But I do remember drinking a lot of Dos Equis that night with my ex-girlfriend.
So Lee Ving is 70 years old. I was right.
Wow.
And I just want to say that night that you were talking about, I was at the Rage Against the Machine show. And you know something? I filmed the Rage Against the Machine show that night. And for years, because you know who opened up for them? If I remember correctly, a band called Shine in Time Station. And this band called Shine in Time Station was Eric, the drummer for Hell's Kitchen, singing, and Todd Youth playing guitar. So I went and filmed them, and Rage Against the Machine was on the bill. And I filmed Rage Against the Machine, and I had the VHS tape. I think that was like the first time they played New York. And it was at Wetlands, right?
Yeah, Wetlands.
Yeah.
And I just remember we had the whole night planned. We were going to go from 1, and then we were going to cut out and go to CB's, and we got stonewalled at Wetlands, so we just went to CB's. And
I had that VHS, man.
Yeah, that's something for the Patreon right there.
Yeah, you remember that, Todd Hamilton, right? Todd Youth was in Shine in Time Station, and I think Todd asked me if I could film them. So I went with my video camera, whatever, and I shot them. And Rage Against the Machine was on the bill, and I think it was the first time they played New York, and they blew up the spot, man.
Oh my God, they were so many times early on, and they were just so powerful, such a powerful live band.
They fucking blew up the spot.
Hey, Todd Hamilton, by the way, thank you so much. The 7-inch you gave me is right behind me up on the shelf there, and thank you for the shirt as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool, man.
Well,
what else going on? What else is going on? What's in the back? What do you got in the background there? Anything new and exciting?
What do I got there? I could see I got the Tony Sly solo vinyl there. I actually just got that recently on vinyl, and just let's see here. What do we got? Let's see.
There you go.
What did you call that last time? Accumulation?
Clutter.
I like accumulation better than clutter.
Clutter. Yep.
But it's Sunday, so I want to shout out Machine Gun Mikey, who's just over here from Belgium, and happy to have him back. And I want to shout out my friends in Unregenerate Blood from Beijing. Great hardcore band from Beijing.
Repping that Beijing shit, huh?
That's it. Beijing hardcore, man. Who knew?
Cool. All right, we'll talk to you in a bit, buddy.
You got it. See you guys later.
What's happening? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, and Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards. Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, located in Lakewood, Colorado, is the Rocky Mountain headquarters for all things punk, hardcore, and metal. Established in 2014, they have the largest selection of records, CDs, shirts, stickers, patches, and accessories between Chicago and Los Angeles. From the pit to the ditch, they've got your back. Get in touch with them at www.chainreactionrecords.com. Yeah, we got to get Josh back on to tell us what's going on in the store. Also, New York Hardcore Comics opened back in 2013 when lifelong friends Debo the Pro and Lee Fairley combined their collections and obsessions for comic books, punk rock, toys, statues, magic, the gathering, and all things horror. The store is located at 117 Main Street in Dobbs Ferry, New York. If you want to support them during this pandemic, please contact them via email at newyorkhardcorecomics@gmail.com. That's what I'm talking about right there. Also, I want to mention a couple shows coming up. Let me clear the deck here. Let me quickly, just so everybody knows what's coming up here and what's happening. Coming up on Wednesday, we got a good one, man. Not easy to get this guy. We got Carl from Earth Crisis coming up on Wednesday. A guy, who's not really, in on the technical world. So, it's not easy to get a guy like that on, but he's coming on. He's going over to his guitar player's house, whatever. So that should be pretty cool. We got Carl from Earth Crisis. And also on that show, we're going to bring a friend of ours on. We're going to bring Jonathan Buskey on, who just put this book out, this Earth Crisis Attitude Exhumed book. So we're going to bring Buskey on. This just came out. It's pretty dope. And we're going to talk about this a little bit. So that's Earth Crisis and Buskey. Also, a week from today, we got the Channel 3 guys coming on. Mike and Kim from Channel 3, a little West Coast flavor. It's the flavor. West Coast. A week from today. And then not to be left out, after that is the big premiere of the No Redeeming Social Value Rat Bones video with special guest Dean Miller from No Redeeming Social Value. And our main guest will be Mark Scandato from Shutdown. That's going to be a cool show. And then, this one I'm psyched about. I'm psyched about all of them. But Monty Melnick, the Ramones tour manager, for 300 years and a bazillion shows, is coming on. He also wrote the book On the Road with the Ramones. So that should be pretty cool. We got Monty coming on. So that's that. There you go. Yeah, Channel 3, man. Yep. So that said, also, as everybody knows, but I'm just going to remind you, this show is leading into this that is happening right after, well, a little bit after, an hour after pretty much, is the Bowery Electric Sunday matinee at the Bowery streaming show. Please, this is a benefit. All the money's going to the venues, Save Our Stages. We are doing this. It is a benefit. Tickets can be bought here at www.boweryelectric.com. Please support this event. This is an important event. It is to support the stages in New York City. We cannot lose these venues. We must do our part. So please, even if you think these bands suck, buy a ticket, support venues in New York City. You know? There you go. Yeah, you got time to piss. This show's going to end at 5. The live stream starts at 6. So everybody got an hour. I got to run down there. You know, I got an hour. We are all pumped for the matinee, Josh. What's up, Rick? Upstate Rick, check it in. What's up? Jesus, my fingers are fat today. All right. Yeah. Okay, good. So yeah, big event, you know. There you go. Antidotes suck? Never. Well, thank you, bro. Antidote NYHC. Ooh. Oh, the drama. God, unbelievable, man. So there you go. Let me see. That said, let's keep it moving. Let's bring our guest on. Just want to mention before we bring our guest on a little bit about my Patreon page right here. Please support this show. Please support this show. Please support the arts. This is how you can do it. If you enjoy the show and you're a lurker, I know there's a lot of you lurkers out there. I know you're lurking. I see you out there. Don't go through life being a lurker. Come, take your hat, throw your hat in the ring. It's not too late. It's not too late. Throw your hat in the ring. Don't be a lurker. You know, there you go. Mad lurkers, yo. Jamal, what's up, brother? Mad lurkers. Yep. Support. That's right. Bob Riley, what's up? Bob Riley, you know, I like how Bob Riley stepped on and said, don't lurk. Bob Riley chimed in. It's all right. You gluten-free mother lurkers, you know? You gluten-free LAF lurker as fuck. What's up, John Sanchez? Yo, I'm lurking, son. I'm lurking. The Lurkers. There must have been a band called Hatreon. That's good. Hatreon. I like that. All right. Listen, enough. Enough already. Let's bring our guest on. Let's talk about some music. Let's have some fun. The show's going to be ending on time today at 5 o'clock, by the way. All right? So, that said, here we go. Today's guest is an American guitarist, songwriter, hailing from the great state of Massachusetts. He is best known for his work with Only Living Witness, Blood for Blood, The Enemy Within, Slapshot, Stars and Stripes, American War Machine, and of course, the mighty Agnostic Front. Please welcome, coming at us from Medford, Mass, Mr. Craig Silverman. What's up, buddy?
What's happening?
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. Hey, listen, we do a high-energy show here, so you might have to crack a smile at some point.
Probably not going to happen. I'll do my best, though. I'll try.
Good. So, hey.
I'm always fine on the inside.
Welcome to the show. Tell us what was happening. I mean, we had some of your bandmates on, but when the shit hit the fan, what was happening, with you musically and what's going on?
Well, we had so much planned for this year. Just like everybody else, we had the rug pulled out from underneath us. But now we're just hoping that things get going next year again. I'm trying to remain optimistic, but I'm hoping for next year, but realistically, we're probably looking at 2022.
Didn't everything sort of get rescheduled for 1 year down the line?
Yeah, things got rescheduled for this year. I think that everybody was a little overly optimistic. And we have shows booked for next year, but I mean, who between clubs closing and like nobody knows what's going on with this virus. I mean, it could, who knows? Sure, there are shows booked, but whether they're going to happen or not is, that's up in the air. It's completely out of our control. But we have everything that we had booked for this year is booked for next year.
Right. It sort of got literally almost like a year later, right?
Yeah. A little more in some cases, actually. So.
And that last thing that you guys did was the Persistence tour, right?
Yes. Which was a great way to end it. You know, that was right before this whole shit show started. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a really busy year planned. Sucks, but it is what it is. You know, can't do anything about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and who was on that Persistence tour? This particular one?
It was us, Gorilla Biscuits, H2O, Billy Bio, Street Dogs. What am I missing? Count Time. Cutthroat. I think that was it.
That was really kind of like a return to form for the Persistence tour. That was a strong bill, man.
It was, and it was. There was something for everybody. You know, between Street Dogs, Gorilla Biscuits, us, Billy Bio. I mean, it's pretty spread out. So you had it was a great tour, and if that was the last one I ever did, I'd be happy with it. So.
That's the spirit, man. Our friend Robert Hogg in Scotland says, "So glad to see you guys in London in January on the Persistence tour. Awesome, Craig."
Robert's a good dude.
Yeah. I mean, and at this point, I guess it's safe to say you've been around the globe enough times that there's certain places that you must go to and go, okay, we're in Scotland or we're in Antwerp. Wow, great! I can't wait to see my friends, right, from Scotland or Antwerp, right?
Absolutely. And I have friends like that all over the world. It's one of the great things about doing this is the people that you meet and form real life friendships with. I mean, I've made so many friends over the years playing music. Like it's probably the best thing about doing this is the people that you meet.
Yeah, that makes I can see that. And here's our friend Ann Mays checking in from Antwerp, the lovely port of Antwerp.
That cat weirdo. What's up, cat weirdo? I love you, hon. You know I do.
Yeah. I like Antwerp. It's my kind of town, man.
I do too.
Yeah. So, all right. So tell us a little bit about, how did you grow up? Where did you grow up? And how did music come into your life?
I grew up in Passaic, New Jersey. I started playing guitar when I was 6. I was obsessed with bands like Kiss and Cheap Trick, Black Sabbath. And then I went from guitar to bass. And
did you grow up? Did you grow up in a musical household? Was there music? Like how did music come into your orbit? Like
like I said, when I discovered Kiss, that was it for me. So I was 6 years old, and I wasn't so much taken by their image, although that was cool and all. I mean, I actually loved the band. And
you mean musically?
Musically.
Right.
I mean, I love the imagery. I mean, you're a 6-year-old kid. Those are like real life comic book characters to a 6-year-old at that time. But yeah, I was just drawn to music. So I went from bands like Kiss and Cheap Trick and Black Sabbath to later on like metal bands like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, and then from there Motorhead.
It's interesting. It's interesting you bring that up in a certain regard, because it's like bands like Kiss and even the Misfits, the imagery for a young kid, is even, a young kid might not understand musically what's happened, but young kids understand the imagery of it. And it's in the imagery of a band like Kiss, or I got to say the Misfits, right? or and I guess you could even modernize it and say a band like Slipknot or Mushroom Head or so. I mean, Slipknot. Slipknot is probably the best case of it. Is that draws a lot of young kids in? You know, it's like image first, music. Duran, image first, music after.
Well, yeah, that was the whole MTV thing. I mean, it kind of, you know, it was good for bands that it gave them exposure that they didn't have before, but it also ruined it for guys like Christopher Cross. And look at this fucking guy. Nobody wants to look at him, you know. But you know, bands like Duran.
Yep.
You know, one of the first. Did I lose you? You there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were the first boy band of the MTV generation. But you know, even that opened the door for hair metal bands, and MTV was all about image. So. Yep.
Yeah, Duran was So somebody asked favorite Kiss album is now before you answer that, let me say that like for me, now I wasn't a big Kiss fan. But to me, there was no Kiss album. It was like the whole thing. It was hard for me to differentiate one Kiss album. But you were a Kiss fan. Was there a favorite Kiss album growing up?
Oh, absolutely. Dress to Kill. It's like people think about Kiss and growing up, like you had people that either loved them or hated them. There was no in between.
Yeah.
So, you know, Kiss unfairly were viewed as this gimmick band. The first 3 Kiss records are really solid rock and roll records.
Yeah.
And I love the first 3, you know, and after that.
Well, you know, just learning what I've learned, being a bit of a music historian, and like, for instance, like a while back, I had a meeting with Rick Derringer. You know, we were talking about maybe doing a documentary, and we were talking, and I found out that he played on some Kiss stuff, and I looked it up, and it's just like, you know, I think those later records sort of got a little, I don't want to say watered down, but a little more. It has different sonic tones in it because they were bringing in a lot of studio musicians.
Yeah, Ace Frehley didn't play a note on Destroyer. That was Bob Kulick, Rick Derringer,
right?
A couple of other guys. You know, same thing with side 4 of Kiss Alive 2.
Yeah,
that's Bob Kulick. Ace Frehley played on Rocket Ride, nothing else.
Bob Kulick.
That band was like done right around 1976 because Ace and Peter were, you know, they had their habits that made them. Rendered them unable to play on studio recordings, so they brought in.
Right?
Yeah,
is that right?
Ant and Fig played drums on a lot of later Kiss stuff too.
And then he turns up on Ace Frehley's solo album. He plays drums on it.
Yeah, how crazy is that? And he was in Ace Frehley's band, Frehley's Comet.
Personally, like that Ace Frehley solo album is really
it's the best. It's the best one of the 4, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's great. Mark Tolch up in Canada says Derringer played the solo on Under My Wheels by Alice Cooper as well. I did not know that. Another thing that I want to mention that Manuel DePore mentioned. So you grew up in Passaic. It just so happened that your bandmate Roger Moret grew up in Passaic, New Jersey. And
right up the street from me.
Passaic, New Jersey, of course, was the Capitol Theater. Did you ever go to the Capitol Theater growing up?
No, never once. I mean, I walked past it a bunch of times, but I never saw any shows there.
That place was an interesting dump. That place was, you know,
it's a shit neighborhood.
Yeah, it was a shit neighborhood. Yeah, I went to a couple of shows there, and it was gnarly. It was gnarly. But so you grew up in Jersey. Now, you left Jersey as a teenager and went to Massachusetts. Tell us about how you got into hardcore. I think I remember your first hardcore show. You came into the city, right?
Yeah, ironically, my first hardcore show was Agnostic Front at CBGB, 1984. So I was scared shitless. I mean, I was a 13-year-old kid. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. Even though I was familiar with a couple of bands by that point, Black Flag and Minor Threat. I'd heard of Agnostic Front, but I'd never been to a hardcore show before. So being a 13-year-old kid and
Wow.
that being the first one, it was an eye-opening experience.
How did at 13, huh?
13. Mm-hmm.
How does a 13-year-old come all the way from Passaic into the city? You weren't. I assume you weren't by yourself.
No. I had my older cousin took me.
Oh, okay. So it's your older cousin's fault, huh?
This is all his fault. Where I am now, it's all because of him.
That's awesome, though. Like that's awesome that your first show was Agnostic Front, and they were a big.
Well, that was my first hardcore show. He also took me to the first show that I ever went to in my life, which was when Metallica opened up for Venom at the Paramount Theater in Staten Island, New York. That was 1983. So I was 12. That was a little different, though. It wasn't anywhere near as violent.
Yeah. I remember that. That was a little out of my wheelhouse. Venom at the time, Venom and Metallica was a little out of my wheelhouse.
I loved Venom when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. You're like 12 years old. It was like goat's heads and pentagrams and upside down crosses. I loved it.
I guess so, huh? So why guitar? Why did you pick up a guitar?
Well, because I wanted to be Ace Frehley. So
that makes sense.
There's really no other reason. It wasn't for him, I wouldn't have picked up a guitar.
Good answer. And when you first picked up guitar, who influenced you? Who did you gravitate towards?
Guys like, again, Ace Frehley, Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple, Eddie Van Halen, guys like KK Downing and Glenn Tipton from Judas Priest. And then from there, it's just like, to me, growing up, when I grew up in the guitar hero age, right? So everybody was trying to outdo each of the guys like Randy Rhoads and Eddie Van Halen. To me, the guitar is an instrument. It's like, I care more about expressive players than actual skill.
Yeah.
Greg Ginn had just as much of an influence on me as Eddie Van Halen did, for different reasons.
Yeah.
Like, being able to play 1,000 notes in a minute doesn't make you great.
Right.
You could be just as expressive playing a single note. It's all how you play it. So yeah, I love different guitar players for different reasons. So.
Yeah, Greg Ginn was a very powerful player. I mean, and at the time, he was pretty unique. He was a unique player. I mean, and his attack and his approach was really unique, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, and you could tell. Like, I never saw Black Flag live, but even like listening to a recording, you could hear how hard he played and the downstrokes. It's like the dissonant notes and these weird solos that he would do. Like, nobody sounds like him, even today. So
yeah, it was very. His guitar tone was very disturbing. It was very disturbing.
Didn't play through a guitar head. Like, at first, he played through a PA head.
That's right. Well, a lot of people don't know that SST was a company that he started. I think Solid State Transmitters. Yeah. And he was a tech guy, and he started an electronics company. So that's why they always had Black Flag. Always had these, like, really back in the day. I did see Black Flag back then in '81 a bunch of times, in '82 or whatever, and they always had these bizarre, like, speaker cabinets. Like, what the fuck is that? Like homemade speaker cabinets.
Yeah, that's what I loved about the old days. You'd see even when I was a kid, started playing in bands.
Yeah,
we couldn't afford good stuff. I mean, you threw together whatever you possibly could and did the best you could to make it sound good. I don't think Greg Ginn was trying to make anything sound good. He was just being himself, and very, very distinctive tone. But I believe that a guitar player's tone comes from the hands. Like 90% of it. It doesn't matter what gear you play through. Like you're either like who was it? It was Brian Baker. Bad break. There was when Minor Threat. They came to see him practice or as a show. I don't know, whatever it was, but. Like, we can't sound like you guys because we don't have your equipment. And then the Bad Brains jammed on their equipment. And like, it has nothing to do with equipment. And it doesn't. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan playing through a crappy amp is going to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Eddie Van Halen playing through a crappy amplifier is going to sound like Eddie Van Halen. It's just every player is unique.
Yeah, I'll buy that. And I love those players. I'm a big Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, what do I love about Stevie Ray Vaughan? His feel. I'm doing a film now that really it's a blues based documentary, and Stevie Ray Vaughan, his name comes up again and again. He was really a revered figure.
So good.
But yeah, like Ryan says, it's in the hands. It's in the hands. So any other early on? Any other hardcore guitar players influenced you when you first picked up the guitar?
Honestly, no. I mean, that not until later on. I mean, I appreciated. I'll say this. So, the reason that I didn't play in hardcore bands until I was later in my teens is I actually loved to play guitar, and I wanted to play with other musicians that could play.
Right.
Like there were a handful, of course, Minor Threat, Bad Brains, Cro-Mags, like later on bands like the Iceman. I mean, guys who could play. But by and large, like the difference between, like I love the aggression of hardcore, but like, people couldn't play until later on. Like hardcore bands did not have good. Like I wanted to play with drummers like that could play.
Yeah,
I wanted to play with a bass player that could play. I didn't want to have to teach anybody anything.
Yeah.
But by the time I was 11 years old, I could play guitar. So I wasn't interested in playing with people that couldn't play in time, a drummer that couldn't keep time. So hardcore for me was more about the band itself as a unit, not about individual players. It's a lot different than like heavy metal. That's where I started. I mean, I started listening to heavy metal bands, real heavy metal bands when I was 9. Later I got into hardcore, just 13, 14 years old. There were really no guys that stood out for me except for Greg Ginn. And when I got a little older and I discovered other like Bubba Dupree from Void. Talk about unique. There were some players that I discovered when I was 15, 16 years old. But I can't really think of a hardcore guitar player that had a direct influence on me the way that Greg Ginn did.
So as a teenager, you moved to Massachusetts with your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Correct.
then soon after that, you form. Tell us a little bit about Only Living Witness.
All right, so Only Living Witness was born out of a band that I was in called Formicide, thrash metal band. Mm-hmm. So I had met the drummer, may he rest in peace, Eric Stevenson, 1986, not too long after I moved up. And we were in a band called Deceptor together. I think I was 16 years old. And then Deceptor later became Formicide, which I was a member of twice. I joined Only Living Witness. Eric and I were in and out of bands together, up until his death. But so I joined Only Living Witness in the spring of 1991. The original lineup of Formicide is pretty much a continuation. I'm sorry, the original lineup of Only Living Witness was like a continuation of Formicide, just with a different vocalist. They were very thrashy. Then when our bass player Chris Crowley and myself, when we joined, that's when the band went in a different direction, completely different direction.
What this photo here that seems like the kind of the earliest photo I have of you from 1991 at I guess that's Babyhead.
That's Club Babyhead. Yeah.
And I see you play. Is that a Strat you're playing?
That is a Stratocaster. That is a modified Stratocaster. It's a lot of. So I did a lot to that guitar. when I bought it, it was just a mess.
It looks like you got 1 or 2 tattoos there, huh?
I think I had 3 at the time.
And so, Only Living Witness kind of starts as a local Boston band. Is that right?
Correct.
And playing the Rat and places like that?
Yeah, the Rat, the Channel, Bun Ratties.
What was the circuit like then? I know I was around in Boston in the early 80s for a couple years. You know, all those sort of like all the kind of those classic Boston hardcore bands, Jerry's Kids, FUs, DYS, SSD. You guys were really part of, you know, the next wave. In the 90s, there was another sort of resurgence of Boston hardcore music, right?
Yeah, and you had bands kicking around like, you know, Eye for an Eye, Sucker Punch, Wrecking Crew,
yeah,
Intent to Injure, which is more of a well, technically a Boston band, but yeah. But it was all those bands were long gone in the 90s. SSD, DYS, like none of those guys were playing. I think FU started playing again, like in the mid 2000s. But none of those guys were around at that time.
I mean, we'll get to this, but the FU started playing again when they did the Gallery East reunion show.
So that was 2010.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Here's a shot of you from the Rat, the infamous Rat, a couple years after that. Looks like you're still playing a Strat.
Yeah, that was my main guitar for a couple years.
Is that right? I can't imagine.
Yeah. I did a lot of work to that guitar.
Right.
I still have it.
Sam Black Church, someone mentioned. Yeah, 10-yard fight. Ramallah.
That was later. I was in Ramallah too. That was later on. That was Rob Lynn's band after Blood for Blood.
Yeah, that was sort of an offshoot of Blood for Blood, right?
Way more metal, but yeah.
Yeah. So Only Living Witness makes a run at it, right? You did 2 records?
2 records, yes.
And you toured Europe a little bit. I remember that.
Twice. Once with Chromags and once with Leeway.
And then how does it dissolve, and what comes next for you?
Well, after there is a lot of internal strife, a lot of disagreements about where the band. Nobody seemed to agree on what it was that we wanted. Everybody wanted different things. I didn't want to sign to a major record label.
Right.
One guy did. One guy wanted to. Did our best to get off of Century Media and just go with another indie, and there was just nobody had the same goals. So yeah. I hate to use that cliche, but musical differences. But that it was a classic case of musical differences. There was just no, like, I didn't want to be Soundgarden. I didn't want to be, because we had nothing to do with those bands.
Right.
But that's the direction that a couple of the guys wanted to go in. Like, I'm not interested in doing that at all. So that's just.
Yeah, it was sort of an odd time too musically. You know, there was bands getting signed to some majors. I remember it was because I think around that time, that's when I was managing Marauder and Fury of 5 and Sub-Zero, and I'm very familiar with the Century Media situation. You know, all the bands I managed were signed to Century Media, and I know that Century Media deal that you signed. You know,
it's and again, I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about them, because they just didn't know what to do with a band like us.
Yeah.
They were a young label. We were a young band. They had no idea what to do with us at all, because they're a death metal label. And bands like Unleashed shit like that. I mean, they didn't know. Like, they tried to put us out on the road with who was it? We just laughed. They wanted to put us out on the road with Morbid Angel, like us with Morbid Angel. Like you guys are lost. Like it's just gonna waste money and nobody's gonna like us.
Was it?
Like, no, but they will. No, they won't.
Were you guys on that crossover? That crossover 2000 tour? You on that?
No, we were already done by then. We broke up in 1990. Yeah, we broke up in 95.
Okay, got it. Okay, so Only Living Witness sort of fizzles out. What comes next for you?
After Only Living Witness, I played in a band called the Shods, which is like a cross between Clash, Rolling Stones, Elvis Costello.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, look it up. The stuff's online. And then after that, I joined a country band. Not like, Dwight Yoakam, like old school.
Oh no, not that.
But yeah, not contemporary country.
Yeah.
Like Marty, Buck Owens, Marty Robbins,
sure,
stuff like that.
Sure.
And then I just had fun with music. It was a relief not to have to worry about other people in a band wanting to do things you didn't want to do. It was refreshing because everybody that I was playing with during those years were just doing it for the love of it. We had no band that I was in after the Shods anyway had any aspirations of doing anything beyond what we were doing. Just playing in bars, just having a good time. That was a really fun period of my life. I did it for I think that was 5 or 6 years. We're just playing just for the fun of it, nothing else. No worries about record labels, no worries about booking agents, no worries. Like nobody cared about what money they were going to make. I mean, there was none of that, which is so refreshing. And then I got frustrated. For about a year, I didn't play at all because it wasn't too long after I got married. Once you get into your 30s, it's hard to find people that aren't too serious, but you don't want a guy canceling practice on you because he has to mow his lawn, and that's the kind of shit that was happening. It's like, look, we only get together once a week. You can't fucking mow your lawn at 5 o'clock.
Absolutely. No, I totally understand what you're saying, and I think it's interesting, how things kind of go around and round. And I think what I tell people, a lot of people that are artists, I tell them, go out and get a job, because then you could do art as a hobby and you will enjoy it again.
Oh yeah.
And I know when I was an Antidote, in the 90s, before we took some time off, there was a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, and the same thing. We got to get signed. We got to do this. We got to do that. It wasn't fun anymore, Yeah,
there's nothing. That's the worst thing that could possibly happen.
The worst.
When it feels like it's a job.
Yeah.
And I haven't felt that way in a long, long time.
Yeah. I mean, you listen. I mean, we're gonna go down the line a little bit, but I mean, for a minute there, you were playing in two of the biggest American hardcore bands, out there for a minute there. So did Blood for Blood come next? I know we're skipping things, but did Blood for Blood come, or did Slapshot or The Enemy Within? What was the sort of the timeline?
So what happened was I'd gone to see the Angry Samoans, Middle East upstairs, and John Bean, who's the drummer.
Yes, of course.
At the time, old friend of mine.
The drummer for Slapshot.
Yeah. So he he offered to buy me a beer, and I hadn't seen him in a while.
Right.
So we just got to talking, and he said, "Oh yeah, I play in Slapshot." I was like, I had no idea that band was still together. This is
They're still around?
Yeah, this is 2009.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah. It's like, that's a name that I've not heard kicking around in a while.
Right.
He's like, yeah, we're looking for a guitar player. Would you be interested in joining? Like, like maybe, I don't know.
Right.
And then he hit me up again a week later. He's like, yeah, just come down and jam. He lives right around the corner from me. I could throw a rock into his house.
Nice fella.
Great, such a sweet guy.
Nice fella.
But yeah, I mean, I went down and jammed with him. I mean, I was familiar with, I knew, Step on It and Back on the Map, and like the last Slapshot record that I was familiar with at all was 16 Valve Hate.
Right.
At that time, I had no idea that they did anything else. It was a band that was no longer on my radar. But yeah, I don't even know how I got sucked into joining, but I wound up joining. Yeah, and it was a good run. I mean, I was in the band for 10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
Hey, I'm a fan of the front man of that band. He's one of the best front men I've ever seen in the hardcore genre. He brought me to my first hardcore show, and we've talked about this. When I showed up at Emerson College, he was in the cafeteria, and I met him, and he brought me to the Media Workshop to an SSD Control show, and I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for Jack Choke Kelly. I mean, he's the one that introduced me to hardcore, and he's always stayed in the game. I'll give him that, Yeah,
he's a great frontman, no doubt about
it. Quirky personality, great frontman. But
he's a great frontman.
Yeah. Choke is nuts. But he's a great frontman. And I have to say, we sort of been friends, for you and I, the last couple of years you were in the band. You were a big part of that band there, man. You made that machinery run for many years, man, in that band. I have to give you credit for that. A lot of people don't know. You were really in a certain way, and I'm not taking credit away from anybody but you were like a big driving force in Slapshot for many years, man.
Yeah, like my goal was to. You're aware of all the problems, just like anybody else that followed the band is aware of what happened over the years, problems. Like my goal was to get that band back. The level of respect that they once had. I did everything that I could, my best. And I mean, everybody else that was in the band over the years, everybody contributed something.
Absolutely.
But like there was a period of time, like I said, when I was asked to join, I'm like, that band's still around. The last time I saw Slapshot was in like 1992. By that point, So and when people did bring the name up, nobody took that band seriously for quite a few years for various reasons. Yeah. Records that weren't all that
up
great.
To par.
Right. And other things, but it turned around, and I wish them the best. Two of my favorite people in the world still playing. Actually, three of my favorite people in the world playing that band.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Here's Slapshot last album, Make America Hate Again, was quality. The guitar sound you had on it was so good. So
thank you.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Let's skip around. I'm gonna throw some. You know what? Let me shout out some sponsors, and then let's come back with Sid the Kid and do record of the week. So I'll be back in a minute. All right.
All right.
What's happening, boys and girls, kids of all ages? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, the Texas Silver Rush, New York Hardcore Comics, and the Organic Grill. It just so happens the Organic Grill is a vegan The Organic Grill is a vegan restaurant located in the East Village of New York City at 123 First Avenue, featured in New York Magazine, the New York Times, and Veg News. Hey, man, did you read the latest issue of Veg News? Their dishes have won numerous awards, including Best Veggie Burger. And the award for Best Veggie Burger goes to Organic Grill. They make their own cheeses, sausages, and burger patties, and every dish on the menu can be made gluten-free. This year, they are celebrating their 20th anniversary, and they're all about having a great time while enjoying amazing, clean food. After 3 months of being closed, they're now open for deliveries. Get in touch with them and order some great food at www.theorganicgrill.com. Also, our friends at the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. Yeehaw! They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo, photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rowley, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. During this current pandemic, all information and online sales are being taken. Their Facebook and Instagram page, and of course, www.texassilverrush.com. Just a reminder here, and I want to say this to everybody in the chat room. I see you chatting in there in the chat room. And I understand what I do on the show has actually become a sidebar at this point to the chat room. But I'm okay with that. It's a community, and I'm glad you're here. But after this show, this is the lead-in to the Bowery Electric streaming show. And there is a live chat room during this show. So everybody in this chat room needs to show up over there, right? And continue chatting over there. There's going to be a live chat going on during this show. So tickets are available at www.boweryelectric.com. This is important stuff. It is important that you support this event. Please, it is a benefit for the stages of New York City. So please support this event. There is a thank you. I love you too. And there's a chat room. So I know the music doesn't mean anything to you. Who gives a shit? It's all about the chat room. So that said, there's a chat room at this live event. That should get you into it, right? You know, there you go. So that said, yeah, cough it up. Johanna says, cough it up, you bums, you tightwads. You know, yeah, right. Come for the chat, stay for the bands. Got a ticket, but can't watch it live. Got to have dinner with mom tonight. We'll watch later on. Yes, it's gonna be archived for a little bit. It's $10, you cheap fuckers. Buy a ticket, support New York City. Yep. Shot it up, man. Selassie. Shot it up, man. There you go. So that said, let's get Sid the Kid on here. What's up, Sid? What's happening, bro?
What up, Drew? What's up?
Oh boy, what's going on?
Oh, it's a big one today, Drew.
It is a big one today, huh?
Come on. Besides that album, the album of the week, we got the show coming up in a little bit. That's why I want to get this done and race freaking over there if I could, with your permission. Just saying.
Hey, Jamal. Take your yarmulke off and go and buy a ticket, bro. Will you? Knock it off. Take off your yam. Take off your yam and buy a ticket, bro. For the one last time, you bums. www.boweryelectric.com.
Stop being cheap fucks and support, goddamn, save our stages.
Yo, you're getting some love for that reject shirt, bro.
Come on, I gotta. It's West Ham. I gotta represent, man. It's two of the best things I love: this band and West Ham United. I mean, there's only one game, but hey, everything starts from the beginning, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Hey, Ashley Wheatley Bradford. I'm here for the music and history and for the love of music, brother. Listen, I'm just being silly. I'm here for the same reason, man. And that's why we're all here, for the love of music and the community. We're just being a little silly here. And that's what makes this show great. You know, is the music and the history and the love of music. So there you go. I had to sidebar that.
Hey, as much as we all like to be serious and hardcore and metal and all that, you gotta throw a little bit of fun in, Drew. Because if not, we'd all be a bunch of tightwad motherfuckers.
Hold on, I'm trying to find record of the week, man. What'd you do with it?
What did you do with it? I sent it to you.
I got it. Here it is.
Come on, Drew. I know you tell me to step up my game. I know you are. I have to throw a curveball on you sometimes.
Listen, my game is tight, bro. All right, here we go. Jason Hope, good banter. Hey, bantering. I'm bantering. I'm lamping. I'm stone cold lamping. I'm bantering. Yep. Okay, let's do record of the week. Let's bring Craig back on, and we'll do record of the week. Okay. Let me get this banner off. The banner. You with us, Craig?
I am, sir.
Okay, here we go. Sid the Kid, record of the week. Bam! Oh! All right, Sid. Well, listen. This is a Metallica record that I like. I like this one.
I mean, we can nitpick which ones are which, but this is one of the ones that I had to talk about.
All right, let's hear it, Sid.
All right, guys. So, as you can see here, I had to pull out one of the big guns for this. And if you can't tell by now, very self-explanatory. And if you don't know, thrash metal, this is Metallica's third studio album, Master of Puppets, which was, I believe, recorded from September to December of 1985 and was released on March 3rd, 1986 at Sweet Silence Studio in Copenhagen, Denmark, and was produced by Flemming Rasmussen and mixed by Michael Wagner, if I hopefully did not mispronounce the last name there. The album's artwork, was designed by the band and Peter Mensch and was painted by Don Bergstrom. I know I totally mispronounced that one, but obviously an amazing artist. That album, it just speaks volumes. Besides the music, with a lot of things, especially with album artwork, you're gravitated toward it. And this album is definitely one of them. When it came out, it peaked, I believe, at number 29 on the Billboard 200 and got widespread acclaim from critics who praised it for the music and political content.
Are you reading off a teleprompter?
Kind of, Drew. Hey, just like how you do your notes, I got to do mine.
I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed.
I don't want to sound all blah, 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 blah.
All right, no, listen. I'm not throwing dick in your game. Go on. Be you, baby. Go.
Jason wrote a lot of this record, believe it or not. But obviously, Cliff's sound is
Jason wrote a lot of this record.
No, I mean not Jason. Jesus Christ, yeah, I'm a little tired, Drew.
Cliff,
James and Lars wrote the majority of this record. Actually,
of course,
the writing credits.
Fucking Metallica.
But Cliff's bass playing on this record is, that sound. You hear that bass, it's Cliff. There's no argument about it. But it's actually a little fun fact too. Believe it or not, Geddy Lee was asked to produce this record, but it never materialized.
Right.
I mean, that was something that I, reading through through my little crib notes, I was like, I had to take a step back on that. And even, believe it or not, when after Cliff's passing, Metallica's management even asked the bass player from Primus to try out for the band, and that never materialized either.
Gotcha. All right. Let's you know what? Yeah, Geddy Lee would have fucked it up, fucking Canadians.
I wouldn't believe so. I mean, as much as I kind of clown on Rush, they were that progressive band, and I could, it's always the what ifs. What if he was the one who produced it?
Yeah.
What if, after Cliff's passing, the bass player from Primus was the bass player from Metallica instead of Jason Newsted? It's always those what ifs.
Listen, I like this record. I hated Metallica. I hated Metallica when they first came around. I was a hardcore guy. You know what I mean? I loved old school hardcore. So when this kind of I didn't care for this. But when I first heard Metallica, when I first heard Slayer, I really couldn't stand them. It took me years. I could certainly appreciate, I learned to appreciate Metallica and Slayer. That said, when this record came out, this record is unbelievable. I have a little bit of a history, of course. I directed the film, the Michael Alago film. And Michael Alago signed them to Elektra Records, and this was the first record that they did with them. So let's ask Craig. Hey, Craig, any connection with this record?
Yes. Well, this is the last Metallica record that I cared about at all. This tour was the last time I saw Metallica live. I saw Metallica at Brennan Byrne Arena opening up for Ozzy Osbourne in 1986. I saw Metallica 3 times between 1983 and 1986. I saw them at the Paramount Theater. I saw them at Lemoore with Armored Saint and Wasp in 1985 on the Ride the Lightning tour. And then I saw them. But yeah, so this is my least favorite of the first 3 Metallica records. And I'll tell you why. By the time this record came out, I was already into, bands like Slayer, and like thrash metal Exodus had already gone beyond Metallica for me. And I was already listening to much more aggressive music than bands like Metallica by that point in time anyway. I think it's in retrospect, I listen to it now. It's a great record, production-wise. It was before I can't stand Injustice for All. So this was the last record where they had actual, just solid songs.
Yeah.
But they were already moving away from the thrash genre. It's like Battery and Damage Incorporated and Disposable Heroes. But I mean, they were going in a different direction by this point in time. But I love the record. I think it's great. I like it more now than I did back then, actually.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be overly dramatic here, but I'd almost say that this record qualifies as a masterpiece. I mean, in retrospect, and I don't use that term loosely, but wow, it really established a template that so many other bands, followed after that.
What was great about that record is that was like the gateway.
Yeah.
For a lot of metal kids, kids that liked stuff that wasn't as heavy, they could get into that record, and that's exactly what happened. And then of course they put out their next record and they exploded. But opening up for Ozzy, it was huge for them.
Yeah, that next record was a little challenged. There was the bass mix was a little odd, and
everything about that record is. I cannot stand that record personally.
You know what I did like? You know what I did like is what came out in between, the Garage Days record.
I'll tell you something right now, Drew. That is their best sounding recording, even to this day. That's their best sounding record, and they probably spent the least amount of money recording it.
Yeah,
and you could actually hear the bass on that recording too.
Everything about that EP sounds fucking great.
I love that record, because at the time that it came out, I knew some of the songs, but I didn't know a lot of the other songs. So in a way, that's good. I knew some of the cover songs they did, of course, but some of the other ones I didn't, and they were really fresh and new. The Garage.
I only knew the Misfit songs. I had no idea. I liked Diamond Head later on, but I didn't. Yeah, I had no idea who they were. I mean, I'd heard the name, but the only cover songs that I knew on that record were the Misfit songs. I didn't know anything else.
Yeah,
I knew who Killing Joke was. I heard a bunch of their stuff. I think it was Budgie, Killing Joke.
Yeah. Killing. Yeah. The Weight, right? The Weight. That's Killing Joke, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. There you go. So cool. Hey, Sid, good work. Oh, you know what? I got a picture. Wait, before we get off the Metallica bit, because listen, I worked with these guys. They were really great. Hung out. That's me in the Metallica rehearsal room. There I am with the dude, and let me tell you something. The dude's a good guy, man. He is.
I have heard nothing but good things about him. I know a lot of people that know him. I've never met him. But I have not heard one bad word spoken about him.
Neither have I. And honestly, I have respect for him. He loves hardcore. He loves punk rock like a motherfucker.
Great guy, man.
And you don't, from a lot of the bigger metal bands, you don't hear, oh, I like this band. I like Agnostic Front. I like GBH. James does that because he grew up on that shit.
Well, like back in the day, you'd always see pictures of him wearing, Discharge shirts, GBH, Black Flag.
I'll tell you who really loves hardcore in New York hardcore is this guy right here. This guy loves New York hardcore. Here we are goofing around in the rehearsal room. By the way, that is the original Metallica Ride the Lightning backdrop that they have still hung up in the rehearsal room. And we're goofing around. I have his Ouija guitar, and and he's got my camera. But this guy, and he's in the New York Hardcore Chronicles film that he did. This is Kirk Hammett, and Kirk loves New York hardcore.
He invited us to play.
That's right.
I can't think of the name of the festival.
The horror thing.
Yeah. But we played. I think it was 5 or 6 years ago, whenever it was. But I mean, he was right there on the side of the stage, singing every word to every song. He was very gracious, very, very nice guy.
Yeah,
he made the time to talk to us before we played and after we played. Really, really nice guy.
Yeah, and our friend Bernardo says Kirk is an AF fan, right?
Yes,
absolutely. Yeah. It seems like that's common knowledge that he's a big Agnostic Front fan. So that's awesome, And listen. And even Lars, people bust Lars balls, but he's done some really great things too that you don't hear about. He really has. I'm not going to talk about him publicly, but
some things that people are aware about. If you were talking about Napster and all that stuff, he was right.
That's right.
He saw what was coming down the pipe.
That's right.
Well before everybody got on him for the time, he was absolutely 1,000% correct, and he knew what was going to happen, and it did. So.
Absolutely. Hey, Sid, that was very good.
Like I said, I try. So I can
listen, man. We all appreciate when you do your homework and you bring it like that. So thanks, man.
All right, Drew. Let me get my ass out of here because I got to run over to the Bowery Electric because I want to be a part of this.
Yes, we'll see you down there. We'll see you down there in a little while, bro.
All righty, guys. Cheers.
All right.
Take it easy.
That was cool. No? All right,
always entertaining.
Yeah. Listen, you were on the road with them, right?
Oh yeah.
Wow, good for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
His heart. He's got a good heart, man. We love you, Sid.
I love Sid.
Yep. So let me see. Let me. You know what? Let me dig up. Let's poke around a little bit. Somebody asked a question. We're going to kind of go in and we're going to curveball. You ready? Somebody asked us a question about what's the story with Craig's red guitar. We're gonna skip around because you play the fucking most good looking. Your guitars are like freaking good looking women, man. I mean, I mean that, bro. And you take a lot of pride in your gear, and
yes, I do.
You really do, and I think that comes through to a lot of people. And tell us a little bit. Now, this is an ESP.
LTD made by ESP.
Okay, tell us a little bit about this.
Well, so they just put this guitar out this year. This is the first Viper kind of SG style body with an Evertune bridge that they've put out as a production model. And I played SGs for 15 years. And the reason that I switched to the Les Paul style body was because ESP had production models with Evertune bridges in these Les Paul style guitars. I'm not really a fan of Les Paul style guitars, but I got used to them. I prefer like the double cutaway SG style body more than any other. So when they put this out as a production model, my rep over ESP, we have this new the new Viper with an Everton, I figured you'd be interested in it. What do you think? I took a look at it. Like, sure, send me one. And I've done a little work to it, and it's going to be my main guitar in the United States once things get going again.
Did you play a red Gibson SG?
Yeah, that was. I still have it. It was my high school graduation present. It's the only guitar that I own that means anything to me.
Okay, that someone asked about the red Gibson SG as well.
Yes, that guitar has had its headstock knocked clean off twice.
Oh,
it's been through the ringer, but it's been restored. My friend John worked for Gibson for many years, and his job at Gibson was, anytime that a guitar, was shipped out to like a Guitar Center or whatever and was damaged, it was returned to the factory, and he was the guy that fixed those guitars.
Oh, wow.
So it was nice to have a friend like that. He fixed it for real. So, but it never leaves my house.
These ESP LTDs are getting a lot of love in the chat room from our guitar playing people. They're really getting a nice word here.
They're great. Look, I'll tell you something right now. I own, I think at this point,
looks like we lost them. You might have to sign. There he is.
I love. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? All right. Gibson, I think the quality just isn't there anymore. I would take a production model high-end LTD, like 1000, like an LTD 1000 Eclipse or Viper, over any a Gibson production model right now. The custom shop's a different story, but I love them. I mean, I would never endorse a product that I didn't believe in, and they're very supportive, and I love their guitars, their quality.
Right on. Hey, let's talk about in the succession of events. We kind of did the Only Living Witness thing and the Slapshot thing, and you were in Blood for a while, and you played with one of our beloved supporters and friends, Billy G, right? I mean, that must have been a lot of fun being in a band with Billy, huh?
Yeah, one of my favorite people in the world. Great guy to be in a band with, real fun to be on the road with. Just a real genuine guy, Love him.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
So how long did the Blood for Blood, did that happen simultaneously with Slapshot, or was that?
So I joined Blood for Blood in 2010. I'd already been in Slapshot, I think, for a year or so at that point. But so for 2 years I was in both of those bands. And then I was in just Slapshot for a little while. My friend Ian, bass player of Blood for Blood, called me one afternoon. He's like, hey, AF's looking for a guitar player. Are you interested? Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Do I have? Yeah, I got a picture. Here. Hold on. Let's see. Here you go. Blood for Blood.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Cool. Hey, how about let's talk about Agnostic Front a little bit. Let me post it. Let me post a picture. And can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I have to get my earbuds done.
Why don't you sign off? You know what? Sign off and sign back in.
Hold on.
Well, there you go. This gives us a great opportunity to do some sponsor stuff, and then we'll bring Craig back. We'll do some questions. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, and Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards. I want to talk to you real quick about Your Core Hardcore fan page on Facebook. Go check it out. They got some great stuff on there. Just put up an interview with Reaching Out, who are coming on the show. Let me mention that to you. Couple shows coming up that I need to draw your attention to. We have coming up the People's Choice by popular demand. We're doing another People's Choice show. Special guest you. A bunch of people from the Patreon page who support the show are going to be coming on. We're going to do a whole show just bringing people on from around the world. If you're wondering, how can I support this show? There's the Patreon page, www.patreon.com/Drew Stone. Come join us. Come join us. Join the coven. And the People's Choice show, special guest you, Sunday, October 4th, coming up. We're bringing the kids from Reaching Out on the show. Check them out. Young kids from the A7 shows that we do. They got interviews, some stuff on this Your Core Hardcore fan page on Facebook. Go check that out. Also, coming up is Wednesday, September 30th, the return by popular demand of the international superstar himself, Danny Diablo. So always a blast, always a good time. Not straight edge show. This is special guest you upstate, Rick. You have to come on the show for sure. Yeah. Maybe you'll be a member by then. Maybe you'll take your finger out of your ass and join the Patreon page. You know what I mean? So yeah, for sure. Danny Diablo, you can't beat that with a baseball bat. Also, as we know, as we all know, this is the lead-in show. Because coming up tonight, we're hustling down to Bowery Electric. After that is the big live streaming broadcast from the Bowery Electric. Buy your tickets at www.theboweryelectric.com. Support this event. It's muy importante. Support this event. Don't be a lurker. Don't be a bum. Get out of the basement. Help your mother take the garbage out, for Christ's sake. So, there you go. Yeah, starring Ezax Fro. There you go. Absolutely. Danny Diablo is straight up entertainment. Abso-friggin-lutely. So that said, let's get some questions. We're going to talk to Craig a little bit more. We're going to bring him back on. We're going to do a couple of things. We'll take some questions, and we're going to end the show at 5 o'clock. So we got another 37. We got another 37. Buy the ticket, take the ride. Yep. Un hablo un poquito español, brother. Hey, I grew up in New York City. I went to public school in New York City. You learn to speak a little Spanish, you know? Got my ticket, had to sign up, though, which I was almost too lazy to do. I know it's hard, right? You got to sign up. You got to put in your email address. But, you know, listen, this is important stuff, Jamal. It really is, you know? So there you go. That said, you got that. Don't be a scrub. That's a good one. You don't hear that much. Scrub. Don't be a scrub. Fucking scrubs. Yep. I went to public high school in the Bronx. Can you imagine? I went to JFK High School in the Bronx until I got thrown out. So there you go. Anyway, enough of me talking about me. Did I cover everything? All the shows coming up and everything? Wait, you know what? Want to thank a couple new patrons. Slimy Slim, Daniel Latouche. Latouche. Is that right, Daniel? Latouche? I love it. Mike Marino and David Schaffer. All new patrons. if they can do it, you can do it. Lots of unique material coming up on the Patreon page. So there you go. Your son goes there. Listen, when I went to JFK High School in like 1980, it was like a quarter step down from Rikers Island. Seriously, it was bananas. No scrubs, no bum lurkers. Gracias, amigo. Join us. Anyway, let's get Craig back on. Let me line up this photo before we bring him on. Here we go. All right, let me get rid of this banner. Yo, who's excited about the streaming show tonight, huh? I know I am. Hey, Craig. Hey, buddy.
What's going on? Sorry, I have never. I am. You said earlier about Carl and technology. I'm the same way. I've never owned a computer in my life, so I'm doing the best I can with my phone. Sorry.
You're doing okay, man. It's fine. Just as long as you get that. Once it gets really sticky, just sign off and sign back on. I mean, listen, it's fine, man. Believe me, we've dealt with worse. You're no Craig Satari. That guy has sabotaged every show I brought him on.
I love him too.
All right, so let's talk about these guys here.
Okay.
And by the way, like, why does everybody look so angry here? Like,
you said earlier that I should smile. I'm the only one that even kind of looks like I'm cracking a little bit of a smile.
Everybody else, Mike Gallo looks really upset here.
He's like the happiest, nicest, friendliest person I think I've ever met in my entire life, too.
Yep.
So, yeah, everybody looks angry.
Yeah, even Pokey, like.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, but I think I'm almost smiling in this picture.
No, you almost are. I mean, Gallo looks like they just like woke him up and dragged him out of the bus and made him take this picture.
That's basically what happened the day
right.
we took this picture.
So here's a question from our boy Chucky. Did Roger even put him through a test to see if he was agnostic front material? Roger would do that with everyone that wanted to try out. Tell us a little bit about what the audition process was.
It really wasn't even an audition, and so I said Ian McFarlane called me on a Monday afternoon and asked if I was interested in joining. I said sure. He's like, okay, I'm going to give Roger your phone number. So I figured I'd hear from Roger sometime during that week. Like 30 seconds later, I got a phone call from Roger. And he's like, oh, okay, so I'm going to put you in touch with Gallo, and you guys can figure out a time to jam, and we'll go from there. It's like, okay, cool. So Gallo called me 30 seconds after I hung up the phone with Roger, and just gave me a list of songs to learn. I had 3 days to learn them. Went down, jam with them, and then that was it.
Were you? I mean, I assume like sort of peripherally, you sort of knew, you were familiar with the material.
Oh God! Well, that was the thing that I had said to Gallo. I mean, Agnostic Front was one of my favorite bands when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Everything up until Liberty and Justice, I was not all that familiar with much after that. I mean, I didn't like One Voice. I know I'm in the minority, Agnostic Front fans, but the first three for me, I knew them inside out. And then when I had mentioned that to Gallo, we really don't play all that much from those records. I was like, what? It's like, that's insane. What
do you play?
What do you play? It's like, oh, mostly stuff from Warriors, and I don't know anything from that record. I've never even heard it. But yeah, I love the first three. Knew them inside out. But yeah, I think I had a list of 12 or 15 songs. I didn't play all of them. Just went down. I think we jammed for an hour, and I talked to Gallo later that night. It's like, do you want the gig? Like, yeah, I mean, sure. And that was it.
And at the time you were in Slapshot,
mm-hmm.
and for a bunch of years there, you sort of balanced both bands. I mean, that was impressive. How did that work?
It was tough. Well, when I had first joined Slapshot was not a very active band.
Right.
Like maybe one tour a year. And then things started turning around, and then opportunities started coming up that weren't there for a lot of years. And it got hard towards the end, which is ultimately why I left. And it was impossible to juggle both.
Right.
At that point, because those guys, like Slapshot, wanted to tour more and do more stuff. And I just, Agnostic Front's my main band. I mean, I spend more time on the road with them than I did with Slapshot. So, I mean, if I had to choose, that's who I'm going to choose. It was unfair. It was unfair for the Slapshot guys to be put in that position. I didn't feel comfortable being in the band anymore since they wanted to do more than I was able to commit to. So.
Yeah, and as far as my recollection goes, I mean, you left on very honorable, amicable terms.
Yep.
I mean, you have good friends in the band. It just like you said, it just got to the point where both bands became more and more active, and you just couldn't do both.
No, and I mean, it's also having a young son and being gone for the entire summer. Like kids only have so many summers.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And I was thinking about spending time at home, and it was best for everybody.
Listen, man, you don't get to do a do-over when your kid is growing up, man. It's like, you get one shot at it, and you don't want to be that person that regrets. I wish I would have, I wasn't there when I wish I would have been there when he was growing up. And I see you spend a lot of time with your kid, and you're not shy to post the stuff. It's awesome, and it's just great, man. It's good stuff. Here's a question from our boy Upstate Rick. How did American War Machine happen? Here's the album cover. Tell us a little bit about American War Machine and how that came about. About.
All right, so my brother Truth, who sang Intent to Injure way back when, he came out on the road with Blood for Blood on our last European tour in 2011. And it was just like something we were throwing around as like a joke almost. And some people have taken like the band name and like some of the material is like in the literal sense. I mean, it's a poke at it's not meant to be taken literally. It's from the perspective of the whole concept of the band, the lyrics, everything about the band is a soldier that comes home from war with post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Wow.
Everything, all the lyrics, everything it's from somebody who's so damaged from war. And it's like, we're not promoting like American War Machine. It's not like that at all.
Right.
What it is just the horrors of war and what it does to people when they return from war. My father was a Vietnam vet. When he came home, it's adjusting to normal life when you come home from having to kill people. It's it does a number on you. So it's a concept band. It's not we're not very active, but I have another album's worth of music written, and we're hopefully going to be getting together sometime soon so we can record. But we started talking about it in 2011. It just didn't gel until 2017.
Yeah, I mean that's almost like for a while there that was like that you talk about being busy. That was like your third project, But
again, it's more, that band is more about just playing, writing, recording. Like, we're probably never going to tour. We play shows here and there, but we'll never be like a super active band.
You know what? You know what I want to touch on real quick is a band that I really enjoy, which is Stars and Stripes. You did that one record, right?
Yep. And I wrote the majority of the music. Yeah, I wrote the majority of the music in the studio.
Right.
It's like I can write that stuff really easily. Always have been able to. But yeah, that was a fun record.
I mean, out of all these records, is there one in particular that you feel was you really shouldered the songwriting, on the record? Is there one that was like really, I hate, like your baby, so to speak?
The way I see it, everybody contributes something. Like if it doesn't matter that if I wrote the bulk of the music for any record, everybody else brings something. Everybody. So I think that if there was one, would probably be not the last Slapshot record, the one that we released in 2014 or 15, whenever that was. The self-titled. No, okay. that was 2018, I think. The one before that.
Right.
Because that was a return. Of the band. I thought it was great because it was a self-titled record. It's like start fresh. And coming off of some of the stuff that they had put out before that record, before I had joined, it was just not.
Well, there was one record that was pretty much a debacle. I mean,
that's when I'd forgotten about them, because I remember was it a Blast Furnace?
Yeah,
and
it's
and they did, but Unconsciousness after that, those are not. Sorry if I offend anybody. Those are not good records.
Listen, it happens, man. But it happens. But I think, like, in a certain way, though, I kind of like when bands do that. It means that they're cycling out. They're cycling it out, and then they come back to it. It's like
my buddy Mike, after Unconsciousness, like, this band's done. And I loved Slapshot when I was a kid, but my buddy Mike had asked me, he's like, "Hey, did you hear the new Slapshot record? This is 16 Valve Hate."
Yeah.
Like, no. If it's anything like the last two, I have no urge. It's like, seriously, give it a listen. And
here's
solid record.
Yep. Here's our friend Stefan says, "I love the heavy guitar playing on Get Loud. I really feel that Craig brought a lot to the table with Agnostic Front. Even live, he's a great guitar player. I feel like he revamped the band just like he did when he was in Slapshot. And, you infused Agnostic Front with some new energy and some new vitality. And Agnostic Front's pretty great these days, man."
Thank you. Yeah, well, Mike and I write really well together.
That's cool.
When I joined the band, the majority of the record, the one previous to Get Loud, had already been written. The American Dream died, so I contributed little things here and there, arrangements, but most of that record was written by the time I had joined. But this new record is a really pretty dead even. Mike and I writing the music together, and we work well with each other. So
that's good.
Hopefully we get to record another one.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, it sucks, man, because you guys sort of got the whole touring cycle on that record, got the fucking rug pulled out from underneath it,
Yeah, we're not alone, though. It happened to everybody.
No, you're not. That's for sure. Let's talk about this. Everybody loves this stuff right here, on the internet. And is this you and Batman? What's going on here?
That is like I call him the Count. Guy will sleep all day.
How does that work?
I've never seen anything like it in my life. So as long as we're in a van, like I always sit. Everybody has like assigned seats. It's like being in school. So no matter what tour we're on, what van we're in, that's where I always sit, and Stigma always sits right behind me. And we'll leave the hotel, get in a van, go drink a cup of coffee, and 10 minutes later be fucking out cold. I don't know how he does
it. Coffee, which is unbelievable because I don't drink coffee. I never have. But if I drink a Coca-Cola that has caffeine in it or anything, I can't sleep that night. So it's amazing.
He's immune to it. Yeah.
These Italian guys that drink espresso.
He drinks so much coffee. He drinks so much coffee. He's immune to the effects of caffeine.
So who's on your right? I assume the shotgun is Roger.
All right, so it all depends. I mean, if we have a little loft, Roger will always go up there and to sleep. But Roger usually sits up front.
the passenger side. So Gallo is always next to me. Pokey is always next to Stigma. Roger's always up front. Unless he's up in a loft.
Here's another one in this series.
Can't see it yet.
He looks like he's he looks like a crip here, you know.
I've never in my life, I've never seen anything like it. I'm very envious. I wish I could sleep like that.
I know for some people, and for some people, I got to say this. It's like I have a hard time sleeping in a vehicle when someone else is driving. You know,
I have a hard time sleeping in my own bed.
Weekend at weekend at Vinny's. That's great. That's awesome. That it's great. Steven says it's funny because when Craig is on tour, we look forward to these with Stigma, and when he's home, we get to see him with his son behind him in the car. Yeah. Weekend at Vinny's. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me. That's good. That's good. Let me see what else I got here. You know. Oh, here's one. What is this, bro? I came across this photo when I was doing my homework. This is the part of the show when I go into the photos to make sure I got everything, because I hate ending the show and going, I forgot about that one. What is this? What in God's name is that? Beer? What is that?
No, that is my breakfast every morning. That is a green smoothie.
Oh, okay.
That's spinach, broccoli, kale, blueberries, banana, raspberries, chia seed, and that's it.
Wow, that you drink that every morning?
Every morning.
Wow. Do you drink it in one chug, or do you just sort of?
I try.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste very good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like that to me looks like you got to drink that in one chug, but I don't think a human being could drink that in one chug.
I do my best.
Yeah, that looks good, man. And is that?
But it's good for you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said it's not good, but it's good for you. It does not taste good.
You make that with is that with a what's that? The juice bullet? How do you make that?
I have a Vitamix blender.
A Vitamix. I got to get up on that, man.
It's good for you.
Yeah. And then what?
Skin looking youthful and vibrant like mine.
Yeah. No, it's good. And when do you eat solid food for lunch?
Dinner.
You don't eat solid food until dinner? Wow. That's impressive,
Unless
man.
I go out for lunch with a friend of mine, but for the most
part,
right.
Dinner
is my one meal of the day.
That's incredible, man. Whitney says you're the only person that drinks a health smoothie in a fucking stein.
Don't worry, I drink beer out of it too.
Yeah, listen, that's like breakfast and lunch right there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Right. Ashley, our friend, may your farts be consistent through the day.
Once your body adapts, nope.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I do not have an issue.
You
At
know
first,
what?
yeah, I mean, yeah.
What's it called? I want to write it down. A Vita what?
Vitamix.
Vitamix?
Vitamix blender. They run around $450, but it'll last a lifetime. You get one, they're industrial strength. I mean, you use them in bars. They're meant to last forever.
Wow, that's a big investment. $400, huh?
Yeah, but it'll last you a lifetime. I've had this Vitamix for 12 years.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Let me see what else I got. Okay, I got this one. This one was taken by our good friend in Antwerp. Here you go. Now this is a great shot, actually. And this is our friend.
On.
Yeah, on. Yeah. And at first she thought it was the Dynamo, but then it's how do you pronounce this? Hold on, I'll tell you where this is. Let me find it. This is Nojdrop in Optjuik, Belgium. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not.
Is that a word? Is that a place? Optjuik?
Yeah, I know how it's spelled, but I'd probably
can't
pronounce it any better.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of your LTDs you're playing there, right?
Yes, that is right when I got endorsed by ESP.
Cool. Right on. Yes, that's and that looks like, judging by who's in the background playing, that looks like Slapshot.
That is Slapshot for sure.
Right. That makes sense. Oh, here she is. Nijdrop in Optjuik.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Optjuik is the place. Okay.
I know exactly. I could see it. I know how it's spelled.
Yeah, right. Great shot. We love you. We love you, on. Absolutely. A big supporter
Very
of the
much.
show. And I know a good friend of yours as well.
Extremely good friend of mine.
Yep. Her big thing. Hey, Upstate Rick, I see. We'll see you in the comments at the matinee. Craig swaps the pickups out for EMG.
No, for Fishman, Fluence, Moderns. Most of the guitars that I get from ESP come with EMGs.
Right.
And they're fine pickups. But my buddy Ken Susie from Unearth started working for Fishman, and like their active pickups, their Fishman Fluence Moderns are incredible. So I have them in all of my touring guitars, all of my ESPs, and one of my Gibsons. So.
Cool. Let me see. Anything? We're heading down the home stretch. I gotta. We're doing the big show tonight with your bandmate, Vinny Sigma.
I can't wait to see it.
Listen, I want to thank you for coming on the show. That was.
Thank you, man. I'm not a very good interviewer. I'm not very good at questions and answers, but I have a very old phone.
But you know what?
We made it work.
But you know what? I'm good at interviewing guys like you.
Yes, you are.
And you know what? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
That's true.
And I enjoy interviewing all kinds of people, not just I like going off the beaten path. That's what makes I think these shows unique. And also, we have such a vibrant chat room and such a vibrant community where people say, "Hey, how about Craig Silverman?" Then we got to make it happen. And Steph, is a great show. One of my favorites so far. Craig is definitely a solid cat. You're a solid cat. Hey, Lori Dawn. Lori Dawn says, "Good to see you." She's up your way. She's in Rhode Island. Yep.
Yeah, I think close to it. I think she's somewhere in Massachusetts.
And May says hi in London.
Hi, May. You drinking somebody else's beer? Or you got your own. Love you, May.
Oh, and Jeff from Enrage. What's up, Jeff? We got to get you on the show soon. Jeff from Enrage and
Man.
just everybody. Whitney, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Anybody you want to shout out on the way out the door, brother?
No, everybody. They listen. Anytime you have a chance to contribute or donate to anything that has to do with saving clubs, I mean, I don't know if any are even going to be open in 6 months the way things are going, but just support shows like this. Anything you can do to contribute. That's it. Keep it alive.
Thank you, man. Hey, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. Thanks.
Take
everybody.
care. Well, there you go. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and now Your Core Hardcore fan page on Facebook. Go check that out. A couple last minutes here as we're heading towards the door. Yeah, listen to this man. Exactly. We are doing the lead-in right now to the live streaming show. Here's a cool picture that we took at Soundcheck right here of pretty much the whole gang right here. So members of The Craze, Stigma, Antidote New York Hardcore, and actor Peter Green. So please don't be shy. Tickets can be bought at www.thebarryelectric.com. The stream starts at 6 p.m. and there is going to be a chat room there. So definitely come down and get in on the chat. Yes, Bernardo, we'll see you in the chat later. Thank you. Kevin, thanks for stopping by. Rampage Mosh Crew represent. Larry Kelly, what's up, brother? Hope you're well up there. Great show, Drew. Downstairs waiting to pick me up and take me to the show. I'm going to jump in the shower, bro, and then I'm coming downstairs, and we're going down to the Bowery Electric. Thank you, bro. Let me bring on as we're heading out the door here. Let me bring on Steven Messina and Sid.
I was almost getting ready, Drew, and you stopped me. I was like, shit, I gotta get out of here.
It's okay.
Hey, I'm literally timing it. If I leave as soon as the shit is done, I will get there just before the first note goes vroom.
Well, listen, there's a little. Hey, Steven, you better get your ass down there. You got to take some pictures.
I'm on it.
All right. That was a cool show, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You got him smiling after a while.
Listen, man, I like the easy ones. The easy ones are easy. Those I won't mention any names, but it's the hard ones that I enjoy. It's the difficult ones that make this show unique. Not the usual suspects. We
Exactly.
do all kinds of people. What's the URL for the show? It's right there. www.thebarryelectric.com. Get on there, buy a ticket. It's $10.
Fuck, goddammit.
Yeah. Yep. Philip Oakley, thanks a lot for another great show. Have a great concert. Good night. We'll watch the concert another day. You better.
If you better. Know what's good for you.
Yep. You better. So, Brian, what's up? Do good things like support this show. Don't be cheap fuck sticks. Fuck stick. It's a good one. Fuck stick. Devo. Oh, you know what? The other thing that I got to mention, we're trying to land Mark Mothersburg from Devo to come on the show.
Oh wow! Didn't he just recently have a bout with the COVID?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. We
That'd
got
be
it.
amazing.
The Devo thing just keeps coming up. It's like fucking Devo.
But see, with punk rock, it always comes back to Devo somehow. In one form or another, it always comes back to Devo.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that would be a score. And I would tell him, like, this is the reason, like, you're coming on the show.
Can we all get the Devo helmets for that show? That would be awesome.
What's Zed doing down there at the Bowery Electric? Well, Peter Green's a friend of mine, and he came in. Peter Green is, hardcore Devo. Yeah, Chris Corkum. Fucking Devo. I mean, what would you call someone back then? People, there was no reference point, right? Hey, there was nothing. Devo.
That was people's first look at like something strange on TV, I guess.
Yeah, like whip it. Hey, man, whip it good.
Or even in the late 80s, if you saw a punk rocker, you didn't really have anything to reference it by. So you have random people in the street yelling, "Kill your mother, kill your father, fucking Slayer." That happened to me. And I just looked at him like, fuck off.
Oh, you know what? I want to mention this. I want to mention this while we're here. Here is a shot of me doing 10 questions yesterday with one of our patrons. This is Will E. Ramone of the
Willie.
So, all you people out there that are on the Patreon, that are patrons on the Patreon page, and are at the tier that qualifies you for the New York Hardcore Chronicles 10 questions starring you. Let's get to it. For those that may not know,
the Patreon folks, that's what keeps the show going. It helps out. One of these.
Don't wave your money at me.
I'm waving it at the people who want to support. God damn it!
There's the Patreon page. As you can see, I'm deep in directing mode here as we're doing 10 questions. So, come on, join the party. And sometimes threw shit at me from their car. Yeah, for sure. That was part of it. Like fucking.
That was our trial by fire, Whitney. We all dealt with that shit.
Listen, man, I was a skinhead in Boston in 1981. Forget it, man. Could you imagine? It was unbelievable. Crack that whip. Doom, 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 doom. Break your mama's back. Now whip it. Whip it good. Go forward. Move ahead.
Not whip. Whip. Whip.
That's right. Cool whip.
Yeah. There you go.
Just think, he wrote the Simpsons theme, for God's sake.
He
That's got to be a nice royalty. Yeah, that's Monk now.
Huh.
28 seasons. Ching, 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 ching.
That's on the Upper West Side. Yep, that's in Riverside Park, right near where I live. So cool. There you go. There you go.
All right, we'll see you at the show, Dacia. Better be there on time.
Don't come down to the show. Don't do it.
We're not letting your ass in.
Don't tease people.
Don't do it. I'm serious. Don't come. Listen, if you're thinking about coming down to the Bowery Electric show, please don't do it. It's going to be a problem. Don't do it. Just watch it on the streaming. I'm sorry. There'll be shows in the future. I think I covered everything here. Let me just look. Everything. I announced the Danny Diablo show. Carl, Earth Crisis up next. Then Mike and Kim from Channel 3. Then Mark Scandato from Shutdown with the premiere of the Rat Bones video with Dean Miller from No Redeeming Social Value. Then Monty Melnick, Ramone's tour manager. Then the return of Danny Diablo. And then the People's Show. Got a lot of good stuff coming up. We're talking about a lot of other stuff. Hey, let's get out of here. I got to wash my bidet and get ready for the big show. I'll see you guys down there in a little while, all right?
See you guys later in a bit.
All right, see ya. There you go. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everybody. This was the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we were sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, the Organic Grill, Texas Chainsaw Records and Skateboards, and the Texas Silver Rush, and now Your Core Hardcore fan page on Facebook. Why don't I get Peter Green on the show? I could get Peter Green on the show. Could probably do that. Thank you, Camille. Thank you for supporting supporting what's happening. It's gonna be a lot of fun. There you go. It's 5 p.m. Go and get ready. Thank you for reminding me. I got a car waiting for me downstairs. Once again, thanks a million. Looking forward to seeing you in the chat room. I'll see you on Wednesday for Carl from Earth Crisis. Thank you so much, community. I'll talk to you soon. Do good things, and good things will come to you.